Ryan, May the 5th, and we haven't been on for about a week. It's very odd. It is. I'm not going to lie to you. The feeling that we're starting to get, right? And I know this is going to raise some eyebrows for some other people. Some other people are going to say, hey, congratulations. Why? Because the defending champion LSU adds the Paul Star Aneesah Morrow. We had some discussion about this earlier this morning, you and I, and there were some rumors going around that she visited, I guess, on campus, LSU campus. I really didn't think that it was going to happen. Me personally, I with them already picking up with our last episode titled Hailey Van Lith transfers to LSU, with that episode coming out and that news, I really didn't think it was going to happen. But now all of a sudden, I mean, now just I'm just straight up comparing, if you will, NBA, we saw it. You don't like it, as far as these powerhouse teams. You even admitted it to me, if you want to admit it now while we're on. And then actually, I guess it spilled over kind of in the WNBA. Now, Ryan, not only do I want to sit here and get Ryan's take this evening on Aneesah Morrow going to LSU, but I think it's safe to say, hey, let's start not only Ryan, but everybody. We want to see it in the comment section, right, Ryan? What do you take out of this? Because, hey, we have NBA, now the WNBA. Now it's spilling over into women's basketball. And you know what I mean.
Yeah, and me personally, I kind of saw this coming when last week when we did the Van Lith episode about her transferring to LSU. And I think I even saw somewhere where Aneesah Morrow canceled her visit to South Carolina. So that was kind of I think the deciding factor for a lot of people who kind of figured she was going to go to LSU when she made her announcement today. But I mean, this is absolutely insane. I'm kind of at a loss for words on this one, even though I was expecting it to happen. I mean, LSU now already had Angel Reese. They get Hailey Van Lith, who's one of the best point guards in the nation, and Aneesah Morrow, who is also, along with Angel Reese, one of the best forward centers in the entire nation. So I'm not sure how teams are going to not only defend the Tigers or even get rebounds on this team. I can't see anybody out rebounding Angel Reese and Aneesah Morrow while they're both out on the court. Of course, all three of those players obviously in the starting lineup. And then maybe the next two players could be Flau'jae Johnson, Tamaya Ware, possibly Kateri Poole, who was in the starting lineup last year. But yeah, it's just crazy about the super teams. How you mentioned it was in professional sports, started a couple years ago, and now we have it in women's college basketball. So it's just been an insane, crazy year with the transfer portal, and now LSU building the super team during the offseason with these two new transfers. It's in my opinion, it's really getting out of hand. But when you have the talent level of somebody like Hailey Van Lith and Aneesah Morrow, when players like this decide to enter the transfer portal, there's really not much else you can do because these kind of players can pretty much just pick wherever they want to go because they're so talented.
And I'm glad you said that, because for some odd reason, if I would actually tell you how I felt about this move, a lot of people I expect, no, it's fine. It's fine. UConn can still handle them. Hey, in the back of my mind, what I'm concerned about, the UConn Huskies, because that's a team that we cover the most. So with that said, I saw the South Carolina earlier today around 1:30. South Carolina adds top junior college star Sakima Walker. So I think she spent her first 2 years in college at Rutgers, and then she transferred to Northwest Florida State College, where she helped the team win the junior college national title last season. So see, this is the time of the year where I'm not doubting head coach Dawn Staley. I mean, on paper, it doesn't look too nice as far as adding these other players in the transfer portal or these transfers altogether. But Obviously, what I'm saying is nothing is going to match what LSU is doing right now on paper. I think we already know the clear winner of the offseason, no matter what the UConn Huskies do. But again, my opinion, UConn Huskies, we have a lot of episodes. I can't wait. We have a lot of episodes to cover this all season leading up to October, November. But Ryan, with that said, I'm sure you agree. There's no doubt in my mind. The UConn Huskies, they're going to dominate the regular season. All right. And a lot of people, it seems like now, yeah, well, here goes Phil again. Now it's a concern of, hey, when March 2024 rolls around, what's it really going to look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that, every year UConn and there's going to be a handful of teams that are always guaranteed to make March Madness, and that you expect to just dominate the regular season and their conference. The SEC is going to be a crazy conference, but just specifically UConn, we do see the Big East getting a little better year by year, but nobody has built the team up yet to take down UConn, and I don't really see it happening in the next couple of years to come until another team can reign on top of the Big East. But yeah, in terms of UConn, I mean, they have a lot of players, or a couple of players coming back from injury, and we're still hoping they can get one transfer that makes a little bit of noise that can make up for the loss of Dorka Juhas. But I mean, I think in terms of competing with LSU, I mean, it's all how everything, comes together in March. And obviously you got a long way to go to, until that stuff unfolds. But
we've seen wild stuff happen, right, in postseason play, and not to jump off topic, but as well as your Florida Panthers, there's some wild stuff happening. Some teams are just made for the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's a completely different season. I mean, everybody's record gets wiped off the table, and I've even mentioned it before with this past year. LSU, obviously, they're the defending champions, but they were only a 3 seed, and they only lost 2 or 3 games in the entire regular season, and they were only a 3 seed, I believe. So, even though we get all excited about the seeds through March Madness, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It all comes down to facing your opponent and being able to play your best and beat your opponent on that day. So it's going to be tough for any team, I think, to compete with LSU. And I think everybody's thinking now undefeated season, but we'll see what happens. It should be exciting to watch and see what LSU can accomplish this season.
Some comments before we head out. This is interesting. Some short ones, some short comments sometimes say the most, more than the comments that go on for forever. But hey, we enjoy both types of comments, and guys, keep coming through. We appreciate every single one of you. Daniel Ring, I still think UConn, now keep in mind, Ryan, these comments were posted nearly a week ago. Daniel Ring says, I still think UConn will be better than LSU.
Well, I mean, it definitely is a possibility, because we talk about, LSU, obviously, like you said, is the best team on paper, but it all does come down to how the team plays on the court. And as we've seen with a couple super teams in the past, it really hasn't worked out how we thought or how we imagined, and what we predicted their record to be. So it's all about how these players now come together on LSU. And there's a couple comments as well about there's only one ball to go around, so it's going to be interesting to see how Kim Mulkey arranges her LSU Tigers, and to see if everybody on the team can play together. It's going to be interesting to see for sure.
This is interesting too. John goes, UConn needs to get Cameron Brink to sign with them. That would give UConn a shot at the title. I agree 1000% with that one.
Yeah, it probably would. Cameron Brink is an amazing player, and if they could get that to happen, that would be really exciting. I don't see. I've said this before, and I think probably a lot more people would agree with this. I don't really see UConn bringing in a big name player. It's not usually how Gino and the coaching staff or the recruitment staff roles, they usually don't bring in a top name, big name player from the transfer portal. They get a lot of high school recruits, but in terms of transfer, they don't really get that many big name players.
Yeah. And how about time for one more, Ryan? This person says, Tori, I believe Tori goes, saw this coming, but still crazy how the transfer portal is like reality TV nowadays.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. That is a good comparison. I mean, you never know what's going to happen next, and just a flip of the switch, and everything can change. It's crazy. I mean, like I said, there's really no controlling what happens, and you never really know what's going to come next, especially this year. And I can only imagine in years to come how the transfer portal, if it can even get any crazier than what it has been this year.
Yeah, I mean, it goes on. Now you need Caitlin Clark to transfer to UConn. There will be another championship for LSU. Aneesah Morrow is on campus, and get this was a week ago. Aneesah Morrow is on campus in Baton Rouge this weekend for an official visit as well. We'll watch LSU women's basketball for sure. It should be fun. And how about they said about Hailey Van Lith? She pulled a Kevin Durant. I know you like that comment.
Yeah, I thought about that one with the Nets and Kyrie, KD,
Yeah.
James Harden. It really is a big three now in LSU.
All right. We want to try to get everybody's comment in, just not enough time. But guys, keep on coming through. We appreciate every single one of you. Ryan, I'll let you go. Have a safe and happy weekend. I cannot wait to see you next week, finals week approaching, huh? And be safe, Ryan. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Phil and Rye on Listen Up.